on, of course, COVID-19 complications. It is evident that these individuals have for a moment forgotten how dangerous this can be. But all the same, what's important, or what's key at this particular point is just how then this is going to shape or will act as a litmus test to what is likely to happen in 2022. It's been a tough and, interesting conversation to watch, and that's exactly what we'll be having this morning. I expected to have different figures of Kiambaa, contenders for that matter. Gishia Evans had confirmed attendance, and Njuguna Wanjiku equally had confirmed attendance, but sadly we do not have them this morning. But we have Kariri Njama of Jubilee Party with us this morning, and also we have Willie. I call him Hon Willie. Hon Willie was an independent candidate the last time we were here with him, but today he has the face of UDA and therefore will ably represent Njuguna Wanjiku. We want to know what different they bring on table and why he decided that he will be convinced to join UDA as opposed to joining Honorable Kariri Njama, whom I've seen actually they have said hi to each other very well, so it appears they know each other pretty well. And I'm asking Mheshimiwa, Honorable Kariri Njama, I'm calling you honorable because I want to believe that you're going to clinch the seat. What happened? Why were you not able to convince Willie to come to your side? And he was convinced by the likes of, Kawanjiku.
Jubilee is not about convincing.
Is it so?
It's about one being convincing himself to join the party. That's how we operate.
At a point of campaigns, I know it could not be about that, but the more people you bring to your side, the better for yourself. The more people you have on your bandwagon, the better for yourself. So I'm afraid then you do not run away from the aspect of getting to convince individuals.
Well, it's about, parties is about ideologies.
Yes.
And it's the ideology that convince people to join the party. It's not like the UDA. They're all over trying to convince people to join them. They don't have any ideology for as far as I'm concerned. So that is the reason why you find, like in the first world, we have parties that thrive on the ideology. Yeah. Yes. So,
interestingly, yes.
So Jubilee is a national party. Yes.
Okay.
We cannot compare Jubilee with UDA.
The likes of UDA.
No, we cannot. We are not even there yet.
Oh yeah? Yeah. All right, that's going to be interesting because I have had a conversation with this gentleman here.
Yes.
And what he had, in terms of plans, in terms of ideologies, in terms of his manifestos and the proposals that he had for his people, I would hugely be convinced that he would not be foolish enough to drop all these great dreams for his people for a party that does not have proper ideologies. I stand corrected.
No, you see, Linda, sometimes we say a leader is not known best for the intentions to lead, but how best they can sacrifice for the greater good. Okay? So when I'm seated here, I've sacrificed for the greater good of the youth of this nation.
And you suppose the UDA carries that?
Yes, it does, definitely. And I will come to that. So when I sacrifice my ambition is because I'm working with my brother, who is my age mate here, Njuguna Wanjiku, so that we can be able to deliver together. Because the people who benefit most by our economic crisis or bad policies are very happy when we are not united as the youth of this nation. And so when we begin to merge and harness our power together as the youth of this nation, then they begin to be uncomfortable because divided we fall, but united we win. And that is why it was so easy for me to work with my age mate for the sake of my generation who are languishing in mass poverty, contributed by this regime that we have elected for the last 9 years. They have not done anything we can say this is tangible for the youth of this nation. The economy for the last 5 years has been on a nosedive. And so when UDA, we have conversations with UDA members, how we can come up with a bottom-up approach. It is more similar to what was executed in Singapore, what they call a startup economy.
And so the UDA is not part and parcel of this regime that you speak about?
You see, Linda, we must know where we are coming as a people, and we must know where we are here, and we must know where we want to go. We are here because of Jubilee Party. We are here as a nation today. We are buying gas 400 with 400 shillings more, and the basic commodities continue to shoot up. So we cannot go back where we are coming from. This is entirely on Jubilee. It is the regime that is to be blamed for this. And so when we are harnessing in our power and unity together, it's so that we can salvage what is left of this country. It's so that we can work together.
All right. Before I ask Kariri Njama why he decided to work with a party that appears, or as Willie would say, to have failed the country.
Yes.
Let's briefly first look at what he has mentioned, which is really, really important and has been captured in the papers. That is on the cost of commodities. Yes. It finds itself, is a story that finds itself across all the papers. Yes. And Yatani sued over VAT on cooking gas by a Kenyan. Tough times as cost of meals shoot up. Sure. And also on the Standard newspaper, that very story has been captured. I don't know what page. I'll be looking at that. But it appears like it's not all rosy. And true to it, as he says, the person or the party to blame, one, we'd look at President Uhuru Kenyatta. Two, we'd look at Jubilee Party for having gotten us to this point where it is more dire for Kenyans. And as many would say, if you look at some of the elections that Jubilee Party has failed, it was like people were sending a message to President Uhuru Kenyatta to tell him, you know what, sir, we are disappointed. What do you make of this?
Well, let's not blame everything on His Excellency the President. Yes, these are tough times, not only for Kenya, all over the world. Yeah. Due to COVID, the economy of this country was growing at a very good high rate, if you remember, if I can take you back. But COVID has wreaked havoc across the world. Yes.
You suppose that this is as a result of COVID-19 as it is, that it would have been different if we did not have COVID-19 today?
Of course, the economy is not operating at its peak. Okay. It's not.
There's a report that KRA has been able to, massively collect, contrary to what we expected.
Yes. There's a what?
A report that KRA has performed so well in terms of, the collection of taxes, contrary to what it is that we expected.
But you see, collection of tax is one thing, but operating at the peak, actually we should be surpassing. Yeah. Yes, that's how it should be operating.
And therefore the pinch should go down to the common mwananchi?
Not the common mwananchi.
Because this goes straight to them.
It is the dictates of the demand and the supply. Okay. Yeah. Remember, we have free economy. Yeah. So it is that dictates that operates the economy of the country. Yeah.
Why are you so disappointed? Privy to the information that Mushimiwa, brings here, we all agree that indeed COVID has not been so friendly to us. And like he rightfully puts it, it is across the global fraternity. Why should we point fingers? Why shouldn't we feel the pinch just for a moment until we are able to get the economy at a point of equilibrium, which many project that is likely to happen in 2024, for us to get to where it is that we were at least, so that we are able to proceed forward.
Okay. Linda, desperate time calls for desperate measures. We cannot continue putting the new wine on an old wineskin. We cannot continue operating the same way we used to before COVID hit. And Linda, we cannot entirely...
Let me remind you, Willie, that if such is the case, then I am sorry that UDA would probably not be the best.
No, Linda.
Because we have the same individuals.
You cannot say that. No. Let me finish my point so that you're able to interject. I just began talking. All right. So, Linda, let us not entirely blame the COVID. We are not foreigners in this country. We know that the economy was on nosedive. Even true of us. True. We started feeling the pinch even before Corona. I am a business person. Even before Corona, I don't know how I survived an auction, a major auction. Okay, because you remember during Kibaki's time, every major bank in Kenya used to pitch their tents on every street and every corner in Nairobi, even as far as Kiambaa, looking for customers to entice them with new products in the market, okay, for banking. But today, Linda, for you to get a loan from the bank, you have to be connected in the high places, okay? Because why? We have reached the pinnacle, or what we would call the climax of borrowing our money. So what do? The government has to make sure that it taxes basic needs, okay? The other day you saw that China has denied us loans. Why? Because we cannot continue borrowing loans because we do not have the capacity to pay for the loans. So what do? Now we start taxing basic needs. So the very things that the poor people buy each and every day, we put, we add more money on them so that the government can be able to sustain, which we are saying they need to readjust how we do things. Stop these big and major constructions. We don't need them right now. What we need is food on the table. And Linda, true to my word, I am telling you, there are people who are sleeping hungry in this government. There are people who are leaving cars at home and using matatus. They can no longer afford fuel. And this is the nation we are talking about today. And when you tell me that we need to go the Jubilee way, unless I am mad, because even the white man said, it's only a fool who continues to do the same thing over and over at the same thing, expecting different results. So, when you start saying that UDA does not have a plan,
I did not say it doesn't. I just said how much of a plan does it have. Remember,
there is no better plan,
yes.
Linda, there is no better plan than to inject capital on people's ideas and small businesses and dying businesses so that we can help them rise and grow, so that we can extend our tax bracket. And let me tell you, Linda, things are going to get worse, by the way, moving forward. If we do not have a wide tax bracket of people who are paying taxes, then things will continue to go in south and taking a nosedive for each one of us today.
Willie, before I engage Honorable Njama, Kariri,
Yes.
make me understand the difference between trickle-down economy and bottoms-up approach.
You know, it's like this, Linda. It's a pyramid, okay? However you decide to look at the pyramid, whether it's down here or up there, the first triangle up there represents the government, okay? That is power. It is a small number of people elected in a democratic nation, or if we don't have democracy, the ways that the constitution allows for people to have their leaders, it is a small group there. It is the small group up there that collects taxes, okay? So these taxes must go down to people, because now we have gotten to a place, if we do not take people as the biggest resource at our disposal as a nation, and start working on people's minds and new ideas and thinking of how we are going to resurrect these small businesses and bringing and creating new ones, then I don't know where the hope for this nation is. So when we do that with the money that is collected by the government, then it goes to the people, then we invest in their ideas and their brilliant minds, then we are able to grow employment, because the government is not in the business of creating employment. It is the people who are given friendly working policies and a good environment with the government help through policies or injection of funds from the government, so that the people can create employment for themselves. So
Really,
that we are able, let me finish this
so
for
that
you.
Mheshimiwa can come
Let
in.
me finish this for you. So that at the bottom there, where the base is bigger, we have so many people working, each one of them paying a small tax and the other one small tax, so that we are able to grow the economy, because a nation is grown either by borrowing, and when you overborrow too much without the stamina or the strength to pay the loans, then we begin talking of economic crisis. The other way to grow an economy is through taxes. There is no way we can run away through taxes. And so when we have a majority of the people not working, where do you expect that tax to come from? That is why we are saying the bottom-up approach is the best model of reviving our economy, because we are talking of an extended tax bracket whereby everyone is paying taxes. In short, what I'm saying, Linda, is that there is no taxation without empowerment from the government.
And therefore, the trickle-down has not worked, and therefore we have to try something else on the bottoms approach. That's what you're saying.
No. You see what this government...
Because Jubilee had trickle-down economy.
No.
It's more or less like
Jubilee
that.
had a loan strategy.
Is it not? Is
No, Jubilee has
devolution?
Jubilee has
we have to
survived
balance
entirely on loans.
Allow Njama to come in, yes.
Let me talk about the approach that Jubilee has used in this country.
Right.
And actually, as I've said earlier, his party is borrowing heavily from Jubilee ideologies.
Yes.
When
Then
you
are we
look, when you look at the youth fund, the women fund, the Uwezo fund, all those are meant to caution who? The common mwananchi. Yeah. It is the people that have the responsibility to ensure the representative, that this money reaches the common mwananchi. It's not the president.
Yeah.
So I don't know what what is all this about bottom-up economy that is so fancy with UDA? We have already, you know, the structures are already there, and the money is actually there for the common wananchi to get, and you don't even have to be a chama. No, as an individual, you can access those funds. And I can assure you that right now, I have a group of 100 young men who are already on the process of receiving those funds. And this has been happening.
As who? You're
So-
not yet elected.
No, 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 no. Come on, my friend.
He's Kenyan above everything.
I'm in Jubilee party.
But you are not
And
yet
the party,
elected
and the
by
party,
the people of
and the,
Kiambaa.
But that does
I
not
don't
stop
have
him
to.
from
That
being-
does
you
not
don't have
stop
to
me,
be- you don't
really.
have to be
You see, I
elected
cannot,
to
I'm
that-
also
to do that.
justified to say,
You know,
who
we also
doesn't have-
understand the roles.
Let me finish, my
Okay.
friend. Let me
Okay,
finish.
finish.
Really, we understand the roles of
Let me
yes.
finish.
Finish, Njama.
My friend Willie, yeah? Personally, I'm a leader, not who has to wait to be elected to serve the people. And that is what differentiates me from the rest of the pack, that I am there working with the people day in, day out, working with the current government day in, day out, working with the late Mheshimiwa day in, day out. And that's why I have the mandate of what I'm saying. Right now, I'm the candidate for Jubilee Party. It only takes me a phone call to call the Minister for ICT and tell them I need support to support our young men in the village. So that issue of down or whatever UDA is trying to sell to the people is nothing new. Yes, Jubilee has already started all that. And I'm telling you, it is working and it's going to work. And Willie, kindly, I will ask you to switch off from UDA to Jubilee and come we work together and support the president.
You just said, Mheshimiwa, that yours is not a business of coercing people to come to this and to let your ideology sell to him.
He should have told that. He should have told me that before.
But even
allow
we
me,
continue,
Linda, to
Willie,
interject,
let's give him
the right
some
of
more
reply.
right of reply.
Yes,
Make it brief
yes.
then.
Okay. You see, when we talk about the bottom-up approach, and by the way, this is when Jubilee it should not be entitled that he should take Kiambaa because he's running on a Jubilee ticket. Jugona even on an UDA ticket, or even any other person who becomes our leader, whatever, however they are vying, does not limit them from calling the ICT cabinet secretary.
Yes.
That is a right entitled to everyone, to whoever we elect. So it is not a special thing that you will do. And by the way, Linda,
You
have
understand the difficulties that come along with,
unless
getting a hold of these
no,
people.
unless,
And therefore,
unless the government want to frustrate Jogona, who will be elected on a UDA ticket,
Okay.
so that money doesn't reach to us, because there is that rivalry between the government and any other person who thinks otherwise.
Okay.
So, and I want to also tell Kariri Njama that we have so many people in Kiambaa who do much more than he does. There are people who are giving much more, and they're not even looking for these political seats. They don't feel entitled for these positions, and they do much more than he does. Okay, so that is not an entitlement. I've given you time to talk. I've given you time to talk. Let me finish. Let me finish. So the other day I had an opportunity to sit down with the deputy president of this country. I asked him to clarify what it means with the bottom-up approach. Help me understand it further. He says there are so many things that we can do. There are so many things we can do to open up the economy. One is creating better policies through parliament with these young people who understand what it means to hustle so hard with so many policies that are hitting you down and down. So we can empower people through better policies that will create a friendly, conducive environment for these young people. So that is one thing. The other thing is capital injection. If he can tell you, we have had a challenge in Kiambaa that the money that was being allocated for the youth and the women has always gone back to treasury. That we do, true or false, that we do not borrow this money.
for that.
I thought you said you work with the, I thought you said you work with the late Koinange. You know, he said that he worked very closely with Koinange.
Yes,
I thought he should know these details.
And that's why I'm telling you I can't vote for that, because I know the money.
I know the money.
Listen, yes. I know all the money that has been allocated goes to the respective funds. If it's the women funds,
Then
and let me tell you,
clearly you are not working with the late Koinange.
The other day I was with about 200 salonists and kinyozis, and all of them confirmed they have been receiving that money. And it's about a week ago, Willie. No. So there's a disconnect, Willie. And let me tell you, Willie.
No.
Please, let's let me tell you.
Let's be factual.
Let me tell you, Willie.
Let's be factual.
Let's not beat around the bush about the money that has been allocated to all these funds to support the common mwananchi. Yeah? It is there, and you know it is there. And you see, it is the same people who are in UDA.
The beauty about
no. Let me finish. The same people who are in UDA are telling the Kiambaa people, to move from Jubilee and join UDA. Yet, all of them are members of Jubilee.
Party.
There's no way you can preach for me to get saved. Yeah? You preach to
the president is saying
let me finish, my friend.
Let him finish and then you will come.
There's no way, really, you can preach to me to get saved. But you tell me, don't join my church. Go and join that church. What kind of preaching is that? My friend, you see. So,
Honorable Njama, let's come in and maybe probably act as the devil's advocates. We understand the frustrations that the people that are in UDA, or so to speak, purport to be in UDA, and they say that we await a massive exodus from Jubilee Party. They have, for the longest time.
But that's neither here nor there. It's not factual. It's not factual.
All right, well, interesting. But we are here. We are here. We've seen the events.
There are the same people who have been telling us they have numbers. Remember, they've been telling us we have numbers.
Yes.
This is not going to pass. This is not going to pass. But when it comes, the day comes, you find
Linda.
And maybe that's the reason why I want to ask really allow me to ask this as a question, and then you are going to answer, and make it brief. The question is, UDA, or you say you sat down with the Deputy President who articulated some of these very important issues on how the bottoms-up approach is going to bring it, as a different thing, contrary to what we had on the trickle-down economy and so much so. Why is he not doing that right now as a Deputy President? He has the capability. We understand his functions are not as expounded, or not as large in the Constitution. But he still is the Deputy President of the country, and therefore the common mwananchi will not buy into that argument whatsoever.
Let me thank you very much, Linda. First, let me reply to my good friend Njama here. Do not throw stones if you live in a grass house, okay? Is it grass or glass? Whichever comes.
Glass.
Yes, glass is glass.
Yes.
Though when he says that that we are in, the Deputy President is in UDA, and he's in Jubilee and he's forging a way forward with UDA. Where does that leave the president? Just the other day he said that we are going to NASA. Same thing. He's talking of where we are headed. He's saying that he's going to work with the NASA. He's in Jubilee, but he won't. Is that neither here nor there? Njama, it's my time to speak.
Let's deal with
Njama, you cannot swallow my minutes. Please let me talk.
Don't put words in the president's mouth. What he said.
No.
Njama,
you will. I want you to interject. Give me time to speak.
He should
you
be
need to tell him to give
facts.
me time to speak.
Let's listen to what he has to say, and then counter it with facts.
Njama, this is.
But I cannot allow.
No.
You will counter it with facts.
Is it on paper or not that the president said that we are going the NASA way?
He did not say that we're going the NASA way. He said that he would, in the spirit of the handshake. In the spirit of the handshake.
Yes. Which is his.
In the spirit of peace.
And why do they have a bile when the Deputy President says, I'm not going that way, I will forge a new way forward? You see, so don't have
why doesn't he resign and leave and leave Jubilee, and then
why then don't he? Why then don't you Jubilee people? If you think you have the power above the Constitution, why don't you throw William Ruto outside the government?
We are very democratic.
We don't democratic out.
We are very
Linda, I want you to be in control of this debate because you're not in control.
No. I'm telling you.
In fact, you're taking it out of hand, Willie. You're always taking it out of hand.
The Party is very democratic.
We
cannot throw anybody out.
There needs to be some order.
We cannot have this debate like this,
Yes.
Linda.
All right, hold it.
We must
let
have
him
some
reply.
form of decorum,
Let him
Mr. Kariri
reply.
Njama.
No.
It's
If
my
someone
time
is
to
watching
speak.
us
Will
today,
you?
Willie,
Yes.
then they will question the kind of decorum that you're asking for.
Yes.
For a moment, you're taking it a notch.
You see,
different. Let's allow him to
yes.
respond.
That is all I'm asking
Okay,
for.
all right.
That is all
Njama,
I've been
respond,
asking
please.
for.
Yes.
Let me respond.
It
Let
is-
me
it is
talk.
my
Not
turn.
you.
It's
It
not
is-
you,
it
my
is-
friend.
it is his
It's-
turn to respond
It is
to
my
you.
turn.
With facts.
Will
Now
you?
that he wants to counter
and I've
yours.
said again and again, yeah, Jubilee is a national party.
And so is
very,
UDA.
And very democratic.
Yeah, so is UDA.
And we allow the space, divergent issues. So let those who feel they are not satisfied in Jubilee, yeah, ship out.
No.
As simple as that. And then they go and build their party comfortably, and then they can point about Jubilee when they're out there, but not talk about where they are going, where they are still in Jubilee.
In as much as you're a diehard and you affiliate with the Jubilee Party,
Yes.
to the Jubilee Party,
Yes.
don't you feel disappointed as a Kenyan that as the ruling party, one, the behavior of Jubilee is not pleasing? The fact that we have lots of factions within is not pleasing. The fact that the ruling party has not been able to deliver based on the manifesto that it sold to the common Mwananchi.
Linda, what I'll tell you, yeah, every party has its own issues. Not only Jubilee, just like any other home has issues, yeah? But that doesn't mean you burn the house because it has issues. We are not doing that. We are cleaning our house to ensure that those people or those issues that have been brought there, and simply these are issues that have been brought by people who are keen on leaving Jubilee, and they don't want to leave at this point. They are telling us that they want to leave at the appropriate time. You wonder what kind of leaders are these? They are not decisive. Personally, I'm very decisive. If I decide this is the way I'm going, I tell my people this is the way I'm going.
You have had them constantly
Clearly not
raising.
so. Clearly not so.
Yeah.
Clearly
very,
not
very,
so.
because you see,
I will
if
tell you why, Linda.
Willie, you said we're going to have decorum,
Let me
right?
finish.
So he finishes and then we come to you.
Let me
Linda.
finish. Yeah, the perception out there was like I belong to UDA, because I normally host leaders across the country. Yeah, I had hosted the deputy president in Kiambaa. I actually on the verge of hosting His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka from Wiper. Okay. Yeah, before these elections came. Yeah, and even I was in conversation with Mheshimiwa Wetangula to come and visit Kiambaa. But when the elections came, I told the UDA troop that I belong to Jubilee, and that is the party that I am registered. So that's why I'm saying, as leaders, we need to be very decisive in our decision making, so that we guide our people where to go. Okay. And that is why even His Excellency the President has told everybody, remain in Jubilee. We will tell you where to go come 2022.
What would you do? Would you remain in Jubilee if salvos are being fired at you?
Pardon?
If the people who speak on your behalf are being, are facing the axe, there's a proper purge, and every time we're being told Jubilee purge, we know very well that a certain faction is going to be hit hard. I mean, is it so hard for the president to sit his deputy down and put his house in order? Briefly, before Willie comes in.
Well, he has done all that he could.
But
and
the
he has
DP has
it,
been
and he has
reluctant.
said it categorically, it is not electioneering time. And it's not. For 2022, we've got 1 year to go. So it was time to work. And if somebody felt that for them it's electioneering time, if I were them, I would have shipped out.
Do you think it's electioneering time for the president right now? At least at this period.
At this period, it is still not electioneering time.
But why then does he speak about NASA?
Thank you.
You see,
or supporting NASA or 2022?
The president initiated the handshake.
Yes.
Yeah, with
Right Honorable Raila Odinga.
Yes. So, and handshake is about peace, and this country is based on peace. Yeah. Whatever you're seeing here, we have always based this country on peace.
You know, they say BBI is about peace.
Yes.
But the energy that is put towards fighting the courts, or dealing with the courts, or maybe petitioning, the court's resolution of the BBI, you know, is one that speaks volumes and evidently shows that it wasn't actually a conversation of peace, but a conversation of, you know, just creation of maybe political, you know, policies in the country. And therefore, one would not root out BBI, you know, or segregate BBI from 2022 politics.
You know, everything is a process, Linda.
Yeah.
And we have to see that. And politics is also a process. And it's about aligning and realignment. Yeah? So, I mean, you cannot say that courts have been fought.
Not really fought. That's why
yes,
I swallowed that.
Yes,
or,
yes.
And said that, you know, they are actually challenging this, petitioning the you know, resolution or technically the rulings that were given by this certain different courts.
Simply because everybody has a right to be heard.
Okay.
Yes. So everybody, even including the president, has a right to be heard. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Linda, what different has the deputy president of this country done other than exact thing the president has done, saying that he is going to embark on a journey of NASA. We are taking the NASA way, according to him. And then, because this is a democratic country, we tell the president, if you're going there, you cannot go with all of us. Take that route together with the people who want to follow you. And as we are going to take the route the deputy president is taking us, that is a common level. No, we cannot have this. We cannot continue like that. We cannot continue like that, Njama. I was silent for 5 minutes when you were talking.
I'm just pointing out.
Yes, so let me talk. So what is the problem when the deputy does the same thing that the president has done? There's no problem with that. And that is why we are saying, let us not even talk about Jubilee as a party. Let's talk about Jubilee as the government, the regime that is ruling. And if it has done marvelous work, then we would not be having a problem. But they should not be having a problem with penetrating Kiambaa, but they're having a hard time because the national outlook there, people are suffering and people are struggling. So they're asking, what are you going to do the next 1 year that you have not done for the last 9 years? What is this new that you're going to do? And you know, the good thing is that when these politicians are speaking, I like it because they assume people are goats and sheep. This man right here, when he says that he's a man of decision and he sticks to decision, it is on record. And I want people who are watching this live interview to send those clips to you right now and play them. When Kariri Njama brought the deputy president in Kiambaa, he spoke and he said, nimetosha ama sijatosha. He said, Ruda hoye. He said, William Ruto hoye. And so I don't know what happened along the line. It is okay to, let me tell you, even the Bible says, it is even a wise man who changes decision. It is within your rights to change your decision. And you don't have to defend and say that you are not with William Ruto, you are not in UDA. You are in UDA. Kariri Njama, we know the deputy president empowered the border guys with 2 million shillings. You are given 2 million shillings. Courtesy of this guy.
Not me.
You see, when he starts fighting the deputy president of Kenya,
my role as a leader, Linda, is to ensure that my people get resources from all the quarters that I can be able to reach.
So you lobby as much as possible.
I want the border guys.
Yes, lobbying, and that's one of my
where the key money go to.
Yes,
the border guys
they haven't gotten the money. They never received the money.
You shouldn't be asking me. Actually, you should be asking the deputy president if that money did not reach the intended recipient.
Yes.
And that is the border.
Yes.
Otherwise, Linda, every coin that was given out, including what I gave to Mukokoteni guys, reached everyone. And that is why Kiambaa people are so happy with me because of my accountability and transparency.
But if you lobbied for this one, guys, and it did not reach them, don't you think it is incumbent upon you to probably follow up with the deputy president and tell him, you know, Mheshimiwa, you came courtesy of me.
No, the money was
released.
The money was released. That's what I'm saying.
So whatever they did with the money, they need to be accountable to the border guys.
Let him finish, yes.
And that is what I'm saying. That is why the people of Kiambaa are so happy with me, Linda, because everything that I get for them, everything that I lobbied for them, trickles down. And they know that I have always stood for them. So everything that I get, and I've got a lot of other stuff, not only from the deputy president, from even other quarters. Actually, what he brought is...
We are talking about the 2 million.
So,
let's
yes.
stick to the point.
No,
Where did
Willie,
that
Willie,
one say?
Willie.
I'm talking, me, you
Where
know,
did that
I'm
money
not so
go
narrow.
to?
Willie. I don't narrow myself to a specific. I'm a leader who actually...
And to be honest, that is not what we're here to do this morning.
Yes,
we are here to speak about moving forward for
moving
Kiambaa.
forward.
It is
We
good.
should be even talking about Kiambaa.
It's actually good that we get accountability.
We should be...
The polls are saying otherwise.
What
The
has
polls
brought
are saying that Njuguna
what has
is
brought
leading
us-
in Kiambaa by 67% and he's coming closely by a 30% margin because he is not the problem.
But that is not the exit
the
poll.
problem.
That is neither
Because
here nor there.
Jubilee is the
That is
problem.
neither here nor there.
No.
Let me tell you, who
I
has
wish
carried...
you
Willie,
were-
allow him to respond. Allow him to respond.
Willie,
Neither here.
Willie, and I'm saying that is neither here nor there.
No.
Because those
those
are
are
polls
facts. Those
conducted.
are
Really?
facts.
No,
Really?
those are polls conducted by UDA.
By the
themselves.
government.
No.
By the government of
so
Kenya.
Right.
Yes. So, and I'm not going to talk about polls right
We're
now.
not even going to...
Yes,
well,
I wish Linda,
polls
we could
dictate,
talk about...
Polls dictate
Yes.
what is likely to happen.
Yes.
That is not the exit poll.
Yes.
We only have days to the by-elections, and therefore we'll separate the wheat from the chaff
Yes.
when it comes to
When
that.
it
But the
comes to
people
that.
of Kiambaa right now would wish to know
Yes.
what is coming for them.
Actually, that is the point. That is where we should be going.
We should
not
be
even
here
be
discussing
talking.
that.
Yeah. So,
but I'm good that we have asked for the 2 million for the border guys. So
That one will have to dig deep into getting
I
accountability.
hope that the guys
Yes.
get vindicated
So,
in the
and
next 1
you'll
week
be
before
surprised.
campaigns are
You'll
closed.
Can I welcome them to be part of this conversation? Hashtag Morning Cafe at Linda _Lela,
you'll be
TV47KE.
surprised, yeah?
Make sure that
Linda.
you call and challenge your leaders right here. Yes, Mushimio.
You'll be surprised. Yeah? The border guys are all supporting Jubilee. They're all supporting Kariri Njama.
Which border guys
So
are
we are
supporting
talking-
you?
Wait,
come
wait.
on. Yeah.
Wait.
Come on, wait.
Right.
And I wish you could even go back to our last Msafara. You'll be surprised. All the 2,000 border guys were out and wait to see more.
You know,
So,
you understand that crowds can dispute. I mean, crowds can be there, but you know
I know,
what? They will not always speak of what.
But
Yes.
it's also a good sign that, you know, it's a good sign.
Especially
that,
where
he's-
money is
he's-
involved.
He's also
When you
singled
pay
out
these-
the border guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially where money
Willie,
is
Willie.
involved.
Come on, Willie. Come on,
Yes.
Willie. Come on, Willie. Come on, Willie. So let's talk about the issues affecting Kiambaa so that we focus on Kiambaa itself.
Before we even go to that,
Yes.
we understand that the president has constantly maintained that it's important that we are keen on the protocols of COVID-19. Why do we still have you people actively engaging on ground, knowing very well that COVID-19 is here? Your member of parliament himself lost his life because of complications of COVID-19.
Sure.
Why?
And Linda, personally, as I go out there, that is one thing I'm always talking to my people. Let's adhere to the COVID protocols. Have your masks on. Keep distance where you can. Yeah?
Clearly, are they doing that?
No.
Hold
Linda,
it.
so we are talking to the people, and we are still reminding them, even through the churches, that they should have their masks on. Let's observe the protocols that have been set by the government. And personally, I've been in the forefront of fighting COVID. Yeah? From schools to the community. So COVID is real, and our people in Kiambaa understand it's real, and we are doing all that we can to ensure we contain the numbers and bring them down.
Do you know why UDA is actively on ground today in Kiambaa? Is because they feel like, well, the president is preaching water and taking wine. I mean, after the Kisumu Madaraka conversation,
that is not the reason, Linda.
Honestly speaking, ask them.
not-
Over the weekend, Kiambaa was painted yellow, and the question is why?
It is not the reason.
Okay.
It is not the reason. Yeah.
But we have seen them on podium saying that.
I've been talking to UDA.
Yes.
Yeah, the team, they've been talking to me even before we came to this. And you see, they have all come to Kiambaa because of one thing. They have said they want to bury Jubilee in Kiambaa.
Okay.
And we have told them that is not going to happen in Kiambaa. Forget, Kiambaa belongs to the people of Kiambaa. Yeah? So they have brought all their brigade from all over the country. Yeah? And that is why you see that perception, like it's painted yellow. No, they have imported people.
Okay.
Yes, and for me, if you look at my campaigns, I'm always by myself with the local people. Unlike UDA, who have even subdivided Kiambaa, apportioned Kiambaa, yeah, to, you know, various legislators from all over the country. Yeah? So,
and maybe really should respond on
yes,
that.
what that tells you what?
Yes, thank you, Linda, for that.
They have said they are going to bury Jubilee, and we have told them, guys, this is not going to happen. This belongs to Jubilee. The president is firm on the ground. He is represented firmly by Kariri Njama. Whether you bring who on board, Jubilee is going to take the day. And that is where we are going. Linda.
Willie, there's this notion that there's that feel that you just wait for, you know, President Uhuru Kenyatta, maybe people who are under him to make a mistake, and then you can actively go and do something different or something wrong in the name of, oh, they're also doing this, or they're telling us not to focus much on UDA, yet they're focusing on NASA, or they're telling us not to have quorums, yet they're out there in Madaraka Day having the same. I mean, I don't think that is the kind of leadership we want. We do not want a scenario where, well, the mother and the dad are busy fighting. What is left of us as the common mwananchi? And therefore, this painting of Kiambaa yellow, honestly speaking, overlooking the protocols of COVID-19 is one that speaks volumes of a possible leadership that would culminate from UDA that would be wanting, or so to speak.
Yes. First, let me respond to my good friend here, Njama.
Why don't you answer question?
I have been on the UDA. I have been on the UDA train now for the last 1 week, and one of the things I've seen with these guys, every time there is a meeting, whether it's a crowd gathering, they ensure that everyone has a mask. I've seen them walking with boxes of masks in their vehicles. So everyone who doesn't have a mask, they make sure everyone is masked, and which is a very good thing. So when my good friend here, Njama, says that... I
wish we had pictures of the same. I wish my producer would get these clips from down there so that we can confirm whether what it is that you're saying is true. I had them. I had a couple of them on my phone.
In fact, personally, I've been dishing out those, I've been giving those masks. I'm not talking of people who have been doing. I'm talking I've been responsible for giving out the masks. So I know exactly what I'm telling. So, now, when Njama says that...
Do you want me to show you this picture on my phone?
Let me first finish. When Njama says that he's doing all this alone...
I hope we'll be able to get this as you talk.
Also get me one for Jubilee.
We are very careful with this kind of gathering.
Also get me...
And we listen to the president.
See all these people with masks, Linda. See all those people with masks. So many people with masks.
Proceed, really proceed.
But the social distancing aspect...
So
this is just about the mask.
We'll project
Njama,
yes. All right, let's proceed. Let's proceed.
When we say that we're having UDA legislators coming to help the young man, that's what teamwork is all about. They know they want to form the next regime, and they know guys are tired of Jubilee. So when you say that, Njama, he says that these guys are doing that, he forgot to tell you that the other day he had Honorable Sabina helping him with the campaign. And the reason that he has been going alone is that the people who were initially sent on to the ground to help him are the people that people are so tired of seeing. The likes of Kina, should I mention names? No. The likes of Kina Rakuyo, the likes of Kina, all those guys who have been responsible for the crash of our economy are the people who are assisting him with his campaign. And they said, no, if you want to win this thing, or if you want to have half the votes that Juguna will gather, if you need half of those votes, kindly don't allow these people to come to your campaigns. And that is why he has been doing that with the guys who have not really dirtied their name, like Sabina. Sabina is a good candidate, so when she's helping Njama, at least there's some decorum in the forums, his forums. So we're saying the only way to move forward is let us know why are people coming out of Jubilee? If Jubilee was such a good party, which
people?
If Jubilee was a good party, why are people? The polls are saying, the people are saying...
Can you tell us which people are coming out?
There is only one way to find out. The elections are in how many days now?
Which people?
It's on the 15th.
So they're in 9. So whatever I'm saying saying here will be
can
confirmed
he
by the people of Kiambaa.
Yeah.
Because
Which people are we talking about?
Can he
the people of
confirm which
Kiambaa, the polls. Polls are saying Njuguna is
Are
way
you talking
ahead.
of Mheshimiwa Gathoni?
Gentlemen.
Just here, of Wamshomba? Are
Gentlemen.
those people that you are
Gentlemen,
qualifying
Yes.
to be as people?
Yes.
Oh my God.
This is
Wait a
what
minute,
this
wait
is
a
what
minute. Gentlemen,
Linda.
I
This
think
is
it's
what
fair that
teamwork
we-
looks like.
You
This
know,
is
you know
what
this-
team.
Linda,
And the guys who are
this-
coming on ground.
these are people who apply
young. These are young
double
Let's allow him
standards.
to come in.
These
I'm
are
getting
young.
to
saying-
that point where we want to understand your manifesto. We'll
Yes.
come to you
Yes.
so that you tell us what it is that Kawanjiko is selling, and then we know whether the people of Kiambaa are bound to benefit in any way with any kind of leadership that they're supposed to get. I will not involve I will not focus much on the other candidates because we also have other candidates on ground.
sure.
Some of them were supposed to be here, they did not make it, and therefore I'll allow you to probably sell that manifesto to the people afresh, but after you respond to him.
Yes, and I wanted Willie to tell us which people he's referring
Referring
to
to,
that are moving from Jubilee to UDA.
There's only one way
And
to
it's
find
very
out.
very clear. All those, all the leaders that are perpetrating to sell UDA are all in Jubilee. So you cannot talk of all people moving from Jubilee to UDA, yet the leaders themselves of UDA are all in Jubilee. Yeah? So what can you convince people that they are moving? Nothing. So Willie, kindly,
At
yeah,
least we the people
desist
are
from
moving.
desist.
No, that's why
desist,
Njama,
yeah,
we
desist
the
from
people
telling
of Kiambaa
desist
are
from
moving
telling
with Njogona
yeah,
to
yeah.
where we think the future is better than where we are coming from.
The people
because the
of
last
Kiambaa,
9 years, the economy
please,
has been on a
no,
nosedive, and we are brothers
Really,
and
you asked for
sisters
order,
in
but I think
and
it's only fair that you
that-
allow him to finish his
Okay.
argument,
Yes.
and then he will come in.
And the economy that you are referring to, yeah, your leaders, the deputy president, and the rest have been part and parcel, and they are still part and parcel of Jubilee. So you cannot say that the economy is taking a nosedive because of the Jubilee itself. Kindly know that the principal
Linda, I think we
team
should also
that
have
is
a
in
conversation
UDA. Yes, no,
on
no.
why the economy is
Allow him,
crashing.
allow him.
No, no,
Yes,
it's
yes, yes,
you.
yes, yes.
It's
That's
you
where
who
we're
have
going
said
to
that.
get that,
It's
yes.
not
Very
me.
important.
So
It's very important.
don't tell people that people are moving from. We are intact. We are a family in Jubilee. And as I've said, Linda, we are not
Alright.
going to burn the house because of a few things that are happening. Yeah, we are not going to do that. As
All right,
Jubilee.
Mheshimiwa, we get your point.
Yes.
Let me pick some 2 or 3 responses that we have from the people on ground,
Yeah.
and then we go back. We take a short break, come back, and discuss the manifesto, discuss what is there on the tray for the people of Kiambaa. And Lewis Brown says, good morning, Linda. Tuned on the scramble of Kiambaas. It's on social media that Wanjiko, the UDA candidate, is from Nyeri. We want our son back. You will tell us whether that's an interesting one.
Right.
And another Madenge says, good morning, Linda. Lela watching from Nyeri, waiting for Kiambaa aspirants. I have been there, and the T&D candidate, Mwalimu Njoroge, has a higher scope. I do not know whether you think the same. There's one also, Gerald, who is watching. Gerald says, thank you so much for bringing Honorable Njama Kariri, man of principles and honor. Thank you so much. And another response here from Wanjiko Wanjiro. Well, that's an interesting one, kind of a tongue twister. Wanjiko Wanjiro says, well, really great minds and, of course, young leadership that is bound to open the space for the young leaders to find also a space on the table. Keep doing what it is that you are doing. So let's take a quick break, and we come back with the gentlemen. They tell us what they have in store for the people of Kiambaa. All right, we are back. We still have Honorable Willie and Honorable Kariri Njama as we discuss matters Kiambaa. Well, lots of feedback right here. Some argue that, well, the host is not being balanced for a moment, which is, well, fairly good. And I think the gentlemen, let's all be balanced on how we're bringing this conversation, and therefore Willie upunguze kidogo kilele uachie Njama aongee, sidio?
Every time we start talking, you interject.
Now,
Really?
gentlemen, let's get to it.
No.
Let's get to
Giving me
it.
time.
And what is there? What is this that you had for the people of Kiambaa, and you decided that it's all right?
Yes.
as someone would say here, Willie, were you bought, and all these questions that got you thinking that then UDA is the party to work with, and UDA is the party that I'll send my manifesto to, and I hope they will be able to conglomerate what it is that they have with what it is that I have for the benefit of Wanjiko, for the benefit of that young man in Kiambaa, the benefit of that young child who, you know, looks at the leadership and hopes for a better future, for the benefit of that old woman who's obviously always out there going out to make sure that they fend for their family, and also that man who looks up to the government for creation of jobs and so much more.
First, the reason I stepped down is because of the dynamics that are involved in the current politics of Kiambaa. So any other candidate apart from Jubilee or Dua will hardly survive. Not because they don't have a good manifesto, but because of the wind. And you see, it's only a wise man who changes his mind. And so we live to fight another day. And so the closest person to work with was Juguna. Linda, if we need to take this country forward, if we have to open up jobs for the young people, if we have to empower our women, then we have to do things differently. And so one of the things we agreed with Juguna is that he's going to make sure he represents the youth of this nation and the people of Kiambaa. That one of the things we are going to achieve with him is that he is going to push his level best to have a 24 hours economy so that we have more time to work, more time to make money. And so one of the things we agreed to do, that we will make sure that even at night people are working. So how did we propose? We cannot talk of creating jobs if we cannot talk about manufacturing. We need to start having the conversation of power. Who holds Kenya Power at, you know, who holds it at ransom? We need to get this answer so that we can start manufacturing. And one of the things we said that for us to be a 24 working our economy, we need people to work at night. So we need to have better tariffs for Kenya Power at night for people who want to work at night. Internet should be cheaper at night for people to work, because if we want more money, then it has to come from work. Entirely, we cannot rely on handouts to grow the economy. There have to be better policies to run the nation and to help the young people not to sleep more, but to work even more. So any services rendered by private institutions and government institutions that we have to pay have to be cheaper at night so that we can help these young people to work. And coming back home closer to Kiambaa, there are so many buildings and constructions that are happening in Kiambaa, but I can't tell you for a fact, Linda, our youth do not benefit from those constructions. We have so many people coming in to invest in Ruaka, but our young people don't have the skills. They don't have the plumbing skills. They don't have the electrical skills. And so one of the things we have agreed with Juguna is that we are going to have a major TVET in every ward. We have 5 wards in Kiambaa. We have Karori, we have Sianda, we have Moshada, we have my home area, which is Dendero, and we have Kihara, where Njama comes from. And so one of the things we want to do is to equip our young people with those TVETs so that we can enhance their gifts and their talent and equip them with skills. The other thing we want to do is we want to make sure that this, as much as possible, we are working on agribusiness, because we cannot grow. We cannot talk of growing the economy when people are not working on the agricultural and we don't have sufficiency of food. And this is where massive opportunities lies in agriculture. We need to feed ourselves, and we need to feed the rest of the counties that are neighboring us. And so we have so much we want to do to make sure that everyone is working. We want to empower these people with new ideas. In fact, one of the other things we agreed is that we want Kiambaa to be a case study of a successful bottom-up approach, so that by 2022, when we are telling people that this is the way, this is the future, we have results, and we have told them it is working in Kiambaa, it is doable, because we must have a case study of what we are telling people.
The timelines are friendly enough for you to be able to achieve this?
A nation can be born in a day.
Have you looked into the troubles that the people of Kiambaa have right now before you think of these great ideas that you bring on board? Have you looked into the issue of roads that they send messages here to say, you know what, the roads are pathetic, somewhere around Red Hill, people Moshada are complaining about that, the aspect of security, the aspect of drugs? Do you have plans of dealing with these existing problems first? Let's allow...
I should be the one now going to or next on this, because he's already spoken.
Yes.
And thanks once again, Linda, for the opportunity to talk to the people of Kiambaa. Well, we have 1 year that we are talking about. Yes, and within that 1 year, I know what Kiambaa needs. One, there are 3 or 4 areas that we and my team are going to focus on. One is education. Yep, that is very key to the people of Kiambaa. 2, we are going to focus on socio-economic empowerment across board. That is number 2. 3, we are going to focus on security, yeah, to within Kiambaa. So, and 4, infrastructure in Kiambaa. Yes, for any, and I'll start with the infrastructure. For any country, for any area to grow and develop, it must have proper infrastructure put in place. Kiambaa, right now we are so lucky that we have 90 kilometers of tarmac that has been awarded through the Jubilee government. And as we speak, the Gashie Karura Road has already begun.
Which was initiated by
Gasharage Road has already begun. The next road to start is Kiambaa, Gathanga, Wagudho, Kiambaa, Geshagi, and Duota Road. That is going to also start. We have the Moshadha Kayava Road that is also on the pipeline. We have Jono Road in Kawaida linking Shianda Ward with Duberi. We have Kagongo Wangunyu Road that is also on the pipeline. When you look at that road network, that is going to open up the economy of Kiambaa. And I'm keen on ensuring that happens within this 1 year. The contract has already been awarded, the contractor is already on the ground, and the work is already begun.
Can I distract your line here?
You don't want me? Okay.
On the very same note, because I have hosted members of parliament here a couple of times.
Yes.
And sometimes when failures appear, I know funds will be dispersed for the same, years down the line, these projects are not completed. And now when you question that, the next thing they'll tell you that does not fall on my mandate. And therefore, they rule themselves out of the equation. Okay. How are you going to make sure that this sails through, knowing very well that, well, the aspect of infrastructure, in as much as you can lobby, does not fall in the mandate of a member of parliament?
What do you mean, Linda?
Security does.
No. Listen,
education
Linda,
does.
Linda,
legislation.
Linda.
Oversight.
Linda,
all right.
Remember, I'm here to lobby for the people of Kiambaa.
Thank you.
And those roads I'm talking about, they fall under the national government.
Yes.
Where I am in.
All right.
Yeah.
Proceed.
You get.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and that's why I'm telling you. Yeah. From the contract has already been awarded. So it's not a question that where money will come from. Money has been set aside
for that.
Yeah. Over 1 billion to ensure Kiambaa raised to the standard. So I'm just giving you a picture of how Kiambaa will look.
Okay.
Come next year, yeah, so that infrastructure or roads contribute about 80% to the development of any particular area. Transport is enhanced, security is enhanced, yeah. The value of land goes up, yeah. Roads, because of the road, investors will be attracted, yeah. We'll have a lot of migrant workers coming because of proper roads. Even the value add of all that is going to add up to the economy of Kiambaa. So that is one area that I'm going to focus on. And I've already, as I've said, Linda, I've already hit the highway on this area. I'm not saying I'm going to wait until 15 when I'm elected. That one I know we have already spoken with people of Kiambaa and they have agreed that they are going to give me the position.
All right.
2 is education. For me, education is key to development. Personally, I'm where I am because of education. Yeah. And I have gone literally to every primary and secondary school in Kiambaa. Not in this campaign period, Linda. Yeah. Since 2017, I've been working closely with those institutions, identifying the challenges that every institution have, identifying what needs to be done. Actually, I have even mapped, due to the new curriculum, I've even mapped every primary school what it will be, because each primary school, we want to have it as a center of excellency of a particular area, be it ICT, be it sports, yeah? Because for me, I'm very keen on nurturing sports. So I have mapped all the primary schools, I've mapped all the secondary schools, and I've also identified even those primary schools that will host junior secondary school. That's how far I've gone when it comes to education. Because it's not just education. I want quality education for the people of Kiambaa. I want fair distribution of resources to all the primary schools, even the one that is in the farms. The Njenga Karume Primary School, those are the schools that I want to bring them at par to the rest of the schools. So that, and I happen to have some interest in Rwanda. In Rwanda, you find we don't have private primary schools because of how the primary schools have been transformed into. I also happen to be the PA chair of Njiri School in Murang'a, yeah? And I have learned a lot through Njiri School, and exactly that's what we are going to transform Kiambaa. What I have also done, Linda, I've registered a Kiambaa Educational Trust Fund, where I have told the people of Kiambaa, within this 1 year that they are going to elect me and give me the opportunity to serve them, 70% of my salary will go to this trust fund. Why? Because I have so many youths who wants to join colleges and universities. Some even want to do their masters, but they don't have money. I'm going to ensure that every youth in Kiambaa who is keen to pursue their education at whatever level, I embark on that. Finally, on education, I have already started a program, and I have spoken to NITA. Personally, I've gone to NITA, and I've told them from September, I want them to I will be sponsoring 250 youths to go and do technical courses from NITA. I have done that personally. So every ward, we have 5 wards, every ward will be giving me, or they will give me 50 youths to go and do those courses, so that we don't talk about construction industry, and yet we are not empowering the youth. So that is what I'm going to embark on. Then there's the issue of security. Security is everything. It's what defines states. Actually, a state cannot be a state without security. Kiambaa cannot be Kiambaa without security. And we are so lucky. Now we have been, we have 2 more police stations. And I will even lobby for another one, so that we have a police station in Ruaka. Land has already been identified. And that's why I've said I've already hit the road running. We have Rueno police station in Dendero. I will ensure that I give it a priority in terms of ensuring it has all the necessary requirement to bring it at par to what is expected of a police station to enhance security of Dendero. Dendero is one of the fastest growing area in Kiambaa. That is where Ruaka is, if you know Ruaka. Yeah? So that is one of the areas that, to ensure that security is guaranteed, not only for the business community, but to everyone who lives in Ruaka and who lives in Kiambaa. We have Kehara police station, where I'm born and brought up. We have a police station that has been already, been given. But I have also to bring it to the level of a proper police station with the staffing, with cars and everything. And Linda, as I'm talking to you, I've also opened that conversation to ensure that I understand what is required to make sure that that police station is a fully fledged police station. So I've spoken about 3 things, and there were 4. Can I go to the fourth one?
Can you allow him to probably just come in so at least we
Thank
balance
you.
the time?
You know, Linda, I have.
The fourth one is on what?
Yeah.
You've spoken about infrastructure, insecurity, and I think you better make it brief. Make it maybe a maximum of 45 seconds so that Willie can come in and tell us what they have planned for education and security, because that squarely lies in the docket.
No. You had already given him his to talk about his manifesto.
His manifesto, and therefore I cannot force.
Linda, unless you're telling me you're going to give me another chance.
I will.
He has already spoken, and he has said
less than 2 minutes.
He has spoken, and I can quote what he said. He's spoken about agriculture.
Yes,
is it?
I spoke for 2 minutes.
No. Come, let me finish. Whether you spoke
in fact,
for 2 minutes,
let me finish.
Mushendu.
Mushendu sends a message and says, ask the gentlemen to calm down and listen to each other. It is important that
we happen to have been in KISS together.
Yes.
Yeah, so, yes, Governor Mushendu.
Let's have some order. Yes. All right.
So
make it 45 seconds and then we come back to him.
I'm talking about
socio-economic,
where that is my forte.
Okay.
I thrive in that particular area. Personally, when I finished college, I sold onions in Gara Market. So I know when it comes to talking about small business and opportunities, I know how far you can grow. Rinda. So through Kariri Njama Foundation, we have had a program for the last 4 years on socio-economical empowerment of the youth and the women, where we've been taking them through 1, entrepreneurship, and 2, employability. Every youth who is finishing college, secondary school, or primary schools, they always look for 2 things: employment and starting their own small businesses. Personally, I had set aside close to R1 million to support the youth in this program that we were taking them through. Each program, Linda, would take about 3 months, very intensive, because we wanted to open the minds of the youth, and that's what we've been doing. So that we take through them, if you want to be employed, because there are those people who are very keen on being employed. They don't want anything else. We open up their mind on the opportunities that are there, and as we speak, Linda, we have been able to get opportunities close to over 100 youth in different sectors. Personally, in my sector, that where I work in, or where I operate my business, I'm in the security sector. Ask around Kiambaa, I have more than 10 youths who I have empowered to start their own business. And since the kind of work we do is labor intensive, each youth you'll hear they're employing 5, 10 to 15 technicians. Multiply that and see the number of youths that are already benefiting.
For purposes of avoiding conflict of interest, on that very note, for purposes of avoiding conflict of interest, it is important then that you tell us how you're going to segregate the functions of Kariri Njama Foundation and those ones of you as being as member of parliament, because we understand what has happened with the likes of the Sonko rescue team, and there in between they came in some bit of conflict of interest. How do you intend to make sure?
You know, it's all a question of integrity.
All right.
And Linda, I'm known for that. Actually, that is why people love me more, because of my integrity levels. Okay. So, I was talking of what we have done and empowered the youth through the foundation. 2, we have quite a big number of youths who we have empowered through the smoky trolleys. All over Kiambaa, you will find Ruaka. We have youths that we have employed, we have empowered, given both for them trolleys and all that. Yeah? The other day in Ruaka, I met a lady who requested me to give them some capital. And they told me, Mheshimiwa, I'm single, I have two babies, and I have rent arrears of 1 month. Help me with some capital of 3,000 shillings. And I gave them that money. That was around January. And let me tell you, Linda, that lady we met the other day, and she told me right now she's making 500 shillings per day, net of all her expenses. Tell me who can give you 500 per day? Nobody.
Okay.
So that is what I am doing, already doing. if now I'm given this opportunity, which I know the people of Kiambaa are going to grant me, you can imagine how I'm going to transform Kiambaa.
All right.
Yes.
Willie, we come back to you.
Yes.
And you've articulated your manifesto. And I'm sorry that it is you that we're putting to task instead of having Ka Wanjiko here.
That's
But he was supposed to be here.
He chickened out.
No, that's
He can no
the
longer
video.
face me. No, he chickened out anyway. And that is okay
He
anyway.
confirmed
No.
attendance. He had confirmed attendance.
We are not
So
talking
therefore,
about
he's
we, Willie.
justified to say
We are not talking about we.
Willie,
We are
do
not talking
not-
about. We are talking of Njuguna and why he
Let's come
chickened
back
out.
to- yes, let's
Anyway,
come back to
because
that.
he's got nothing to show.
On matters education, matters security,
it's
that
not-
falls in the docket
Yes.
of a legislator. Really important that we understand what's in store from the end of UDA. Yeah.
First things first, that is the power of teamwork. Njuguna takes care of these matters, I take care of these matters.
Oh, yeah?
Okay, that's the beauty of
Okay,
working together
okay,
as the youth
okay.
of this nation.
I would want
Okay,
to counter
Linda?
that by telling you, when you commit, please make sure that you stick to your commitment, because Njuguna committed. Yes.
I spoke to him at around 12. He was
ask-
calling.
It's fine, it's fine.
When Njama says that Njuguna chickened out,
Wouldn't you conclude it that way?
No, it was on record. There's one time we were invited on Inoro TV, the three of us, he chickened out. We were invited to Kameme TV, the three of us, he chickened out. So when he talks of Njuguna chickening out, anyway, that's neither here nor there.
You know, if you make a mistake
Surprise,
here today,
surprise.
I don't know whether he'd be able to cover in for the mistake, because then you're here
We are talking
representing
of
him.
now, not
Surprise.
then, my
All right.
friend.
Okay,
Surprise.
surprise,
Yes.
eh?
Surprise.
Okay.
All of a sudden, the government now has money for all those roads.
Okay.
For the last 9 years, they didn't have the money. But now they have a
Linda,
candidate.
it is evident. Sorry.
Okay.
Now
Sorry.
now that they have a candidate there, they're using the government resources to campaign for him. And I say there is no better candidate for Kiambaa than Njuguna, who initiated the reconstruction of Rivarori Gasharage Road, okay, which has been troublesome for the people of Kiambaa, the people of Gasharage, the people of Rivarori for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, the government has resources to do the road. It is Njuguna who initiated that. And now, when Njama says that all of a sudden, Kagongo Road, which has been there since time immemorial, has allocation of funds right now, who is fooling who here? Surprise. The other thing is, one of the things I was vying, I wanted to do, you see, my tagline for my campaign was charity begins at home. I said, my home area is in Ruaka. And so some of the things I negotiated with Njuguna and the deputy president as the deputy president of Kenya, who has power to push things for us. We asked for a sewer line,
Yes.
okay? In Ruaka, we don't have a sewer line. That is to say, Linda, we have so much construction that is happening in Ruaka. The exponential and planned growth that came in Ruaka has no sewer line. So we say our water was at risk, okay? And according to the polls, Njuguna was leading by 3 wards, which he comes from, by up to 80%. So what happened is, let me finish. It's my manifesto. It's my manifesto.
It's your
So one of
manifesto,
the
but
things-
really, you need to understand
line.
that is hugely based on lobbying,
Let me have this.
and therefore
Yes,
you're
yes,
at the
yes.
mercy of the people that you request, you know, to work to come in
Yes.
handy.
The
And
manifesto is we have a sewer line.
Okay,
Now,
okay.
In Ruaka, we don't have a police station. We have just a police
Security,
post.
okay.
So, so when we talk about security in Ruaka and other places, Ruaka, Gashie, and Banana are some of the hardest hit places with drugs.
Don't copy
Drug
paste.
abuse, drug
Someone raised
abuse.
that concern, yeah.
Drug abuse. Do you know why? It is because of the insufficiency of security, which we have had a Mutuetu government for the last 10 years, almost 10 years, and they have not given us the security we needed to save our men from these drugs that are being peddled where? In Kiambaa. So one of the things we are saying, let us take matters into our own hands. Let's go take these police stations and bring them in Kiambaa through Kawanjiko. And there is no better person to implement that because he's a youth. He knows either family in Kiambaa, directly or indirectly, is affected by the issue of drug addiction in Kenya. So we are talking about, let me finish.
Okay.
So when we talk, when you say that the youth are not affected, when we say the youth are affected by the drugs, even the parent is affected by the drug. It's a chain of affection. election, okay? So when we're saying that we need this guy to go and fix what this government has not fixed for the last 9 years, when this guy says that now all of a sudden the government has allocated funds for this, we're saying we are too bright to be fooled that way. So we are saying we are taking matters into our own hands. Juguna is going to take the resources and bring them where they need to be done with all accountability. I can tell you I've not known Juguna for the last 2 years. I've known him for the last 5 years. I have known him when he was a campaign manager for Koinange. And one of the things he has been doing, and you will never, by the way, hear him talk about it, he has been he's been taking children to school through his own pocket. He will never mention that because he was not doing that to be an MP. It is an opportunity that came and found him. So when
one
we
common
say
thing here is that these two gentlemen have worked with the late Paul Koinange in his cell roast in
and because
I'm curious to understand what is this that he did not deliver, that they think they can deliver better, having worked with him.
One thing is security. We have had an issue of security in Kiambaa, yet he was may his soul rest in peace. He was the chairman of the parliamentary security, okay, but we have had an issue of security in Kiambaa. So we are saying, let Juguna go and bring that security. Let's have fully-fledged police stations in almost every other ward. And also we understand that he might not do everything in the next 1 year, but he can lay foundations.
And in fact, someone raised that question. We only have about 8 months. Why can we trust
he's moved away from TVET, he's gone to kindly.
No, it's all right, because he's already articulated his manifesto. I won't give him extra time.
Yes.
That I agree.
Yes.
That I agree. No more extra time.
So
for
the next 1 year is
to
lay foundations of what needs to be
done.
It is a
Kachumbari manifesto.
So, I never called your manifesto Kachumbari, my friend.
It's a mix-up of things.
And we understand that not much can be done, but there are things that need a priority right now in Kiambaa. And so we are sending him to do the things that needs to be done as soon as yesterday, so that the rest that needs to be done, we can lay the foundation. And we are also saying that the biggest resource we have in Kiambaa is the people of Kiambaa. So we are going to invest in the people of Kiambaa to be their own solutions. And one of the things we are doing, we are looking at school as an infrastructure where we can be able to grow people economically. One of the mentors we have been talking to about schools and how he has been able to do schools so well in Kenya is Dende Nyoro, who is helping him with his campaign. He has some of the best public schools. In Ruaka and Dendero and in Kiambaa, we have public schools that look like, oh God, for the last 9 years, the same government has been here, our Mutuwetu government. But if you look at the state of our primary schools and high schools in Kiambaa, Linda, I am telling you, they're in a sorry state. So one of the things that Juguna is going to do, he's going to make sure that we have good infrastructures on primary schools so that we have more parents preferring to take their children to public schools and invest money that they were paying in private schools, so that we can be able to economically empower ourselves. And when we talk about empowerment, we're not just looking at what an MP can do in terms of groundwork, we're also looking at it from a policy point of view. And he understands that.
All right, and Mheshimiwa, we come back to you. Having worked under Paul Koinange, what is this one thing that he did not do that you think he would have done? Or he should have,
Linda,
at least.
Linda, I just want to correct that.
Yes. Not under, but to get
closely.
Yes.
Closely.
All right. Yes.
Because I'm a leader who transverse across. And that's why I'm able to even convince the likes of the Deputy President to visit Kiambaa.
That's true.
That is my strength. Yeah. So I worked closely. So maybe you can phrase your question again.
That's to it. Yes. Now, having worked closely with him, we'd probably expect, forms of advices on how to make Kiambaa better and all this. But while there's some few who would celebrate what it is that he did, there's still some level of distaste as to the fact that he was not able to achieve what the people of Kiambaa would have expected. And therefore, what is this different thing? I know you've articulated your manifesto well. Yeah. Why do you suppose he was not able to achieve all this as enshrined in the Constitution as his duty?
As leaders, we are here to complement each other.
Okay.
Just like in other relationship or areas. And every leader has the best that they can do. And the late Mheshimiwa did his best.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm not the one to say that he didn't achieve what he had said.
Okay.
Yeah, to achieve. So personally, what I'll talk about myself, and what and of course I put it across what I would want to achieve within this 1 year. Yeah, Linda. So that is very clear to the people of Kiambaa that I'm not just coming to start. I'm not coming to begin. Yeah? I have already hit the road. So it is to gather the momentum now that I have the fully mandate to represent the people of Kiambaa. And when you look at Kiambaa, you know, the main activity there is small businesses and cottage industry. And I want to talk about cottage industry, yeah, where we have a lot of our youths doing those small industries right in their homes. Good thing, Linda, I'm a renowned businessman, not only in Kenya but across East Africa, and with networks globally, China and everywhere. And I like talking of what I'm already doing, yeah. And when it comes to the cottage industry, I have already identified those people who are doing those things, doing the beads, doing the kiondos, the shiondos, yeah, doing the weldings for those flowers. I've already identified their needs, and I've already presented their needs to the Ministry of Industry. And personally, I'll go out of my way to even get machines from China to improve on their workmanship. I come from the technical world, so I understand what it means, what you can perfect when you have the right machines to help you perfect what you've been doing with your bare hands. So that I support the local cottage industry. Because Kiambaa, you cannot talk of mining industry, you cannot talk of the cottage industry that are there. And that is exactly what I plan to do.
Do you suppose the people of Kiambaa are able to, you know, focus much on the ideologies that are being presented to them as opposed to party affiliation, as opposed to, you know, the aspect of tribal affiliation? Because that is one thing that bedevils us as a nation today.
Kiambaa has grown out of that. And
it's a cosmopolitan area.
It has grown. Linda, when you look at what has happened the last few months since the demise of the late Mheshimiwa. Yeah, we didn't even have nominations in Kiambaa. It was about the person. It was not about what you have. It's not about so much about the party. Unfortunately, our friends here, they are talking so much about the party, not about the person. It's not the party that works, it is the person who works.
And that's the most unfortunate thing, because the common wananchi down there sometimes might be swayed with that.
Yeah, no. And that's why I'm saying Kiambaa has, you know, outgrown that. They are clever, they are wiser. Yeah, they are wiser. Please let me finish, my friend. And I've given you a very good example. That when you look at the Jubilee nomination, it was agreed that it's Kariri Njama that the people want. So it tells you it's no longer...
it was the people, not the party.
Yes, and the party, and that's what I'm telling you, Jubilee is a very democratic party. And it's a party, it's a national party that listens. Yeah, that's a party that listens. And you see,
that you will agree is debatable.
These other parties, no, Linda, these other parties, they didn't have, they only had a single candidate. So you see,
straight.
Yeah. So you can see.
Is it more or less the same thing?
You can
handpicked one with a single candidate. More or less the same thing.
And that is, and that's where you see we go wrong, because now it is, if the boss like you, the party boss likes you, then he will handpick you and give you the slot. But Jubilee, guys, come we sit and agree. So what I'm saying,
nominations were conducted.
Yeah?
No, processes? Is it not more or less the same?
No, listen, please listen. Please, let me finish.
We are actually coming to a close, yes, gentlemen.
Yes, what I'm saying, we are a very democratic party. So all of us sat and we agreed. You see, the principle of agreeing is part of democracy.
Okay.
Yeah? You don't have to go the nomination way. And that is what even His Excellency the President is telling us. people, I want to work with those people that the common mwananchi is for.
So
yes,
a win for you is a win for Jubilee Party and a win for President Uhuru Kenyatta, and cementing the fact that he's the kingpin of Mount Kenya in one word. Yes or no? I'm
saying the president is the kingpin of Mount Kenya region, and we are very clear in Kiambaa and the Mount Kenya region that we are not going to agree and accept somebody from outside to come and tell us, Andres, you are king. We are not going to agree to that.
What does he mean? Somebody from outside?
Yes.
Okay.
What do you mean when you say someone?
Yes, somebody. No. Somebody from. We have spoken of Mount Kenya. Listen, and that's Linda, you asked me a question about the kingpin of where? Of
Mount Kenya.
Of Mount Kenya.
Okay.
And, yes, and we have.
Therefore, it means it has to be about Mount Kenya.
We are talking about Mount Kenya. We are not talking about Kenya.
This is Kenya.
No, we are talking. No. Kindly. She's the one. She's the moderator. So it's about Mount Kenya, and we are very categorical that those people who are being used to tell us to address our king, we are not going to go that route, and they should know that it is as the people of Mount Kenya, Linda, starting with the people of Kiambaa, that we have said no.
All right,
point
is home. Point is
Willie,
home. Willie, 2022, will this cement a win for UDA or UDA? How much more will it cement the bid or the presidential bid of the likes of the DP?
Okay.
And generally, what does it speak about Mount Kenya politics?
First things first, we are talking about the people of Kiambaa.
As we wrap up.
Yes, let Jonah go and do what the Jubilee administration has failed to do for us. Okay. And that is why we as a people are so angry, because we elected this government 3 times, but it has failed us over and over again. And that's why Jonah is having a lot of disfavor with people, because he's about to do what the government has done. And you cannot put democracy and Jubilee in the same sentence. You cannot do that. It is illegal and can be prohibited by the law. What I mean by that is there was no fair nomination in Jubilee. We saw after the hand-picking of Kariri Njama, who Jubilee, by the way, thought was a popular candidate.
Don't talk about Jubilee. You don't.
Njama, let me finish.
Right.
When they handpicked him thinking that he was the most popular candidate, the next thing he started saying, see Chama ni Njama. So they distanced themselves from the party. Okay. So the other thing we are saying in Kiambaa is that we are putting the needs of the people first. And that is why Jonah is going to do what this Jubilee has failed to do. And if he doesn't achieve much, he will have laid the foundation for the next government, for the next regime, which will help him with the resources that which would, however, help the late member of parliament with the resources to take us where we needed to go, to the people of Kiambaa. And so when these people are, when you see this mass exodus from Jubilee to UDA, it is not coming from somewhere. It is based on something. It is based on fact. It is based on massive poverty. It is based on what Jubilee government has taken us through. And that is why we are saying, let Jonah fix what these guys have not fixed for the last 9 years. And we are saying we are doing.
Is that a polite way of saying elect him so that he can fix that, or what?
Sorry? You see, Jubilee, all of a sudden, Jubilee has the money to do all the things they have not done. Who is fooling who here?
Contracts are not signed overnight. You know that. Contracts are not signed overnight. It's a process. Yes, it's a process. The tendering process takes time.
For 9 years. It has been a process for the last 9 years.
It doesn't matter.
It has been a process for the last 9 years.
Is that the tender has already been given.
Okay.
Now it can be given.
We have to close.
Now it can be given.
And Linda, for your information,
20 seconds.
Yes, for your information, it is very unfortunate what my Jogona was trying to do with the Kehara Road. He wanted to raise money for his campaign. He had called people to come.
We're not opening up Pandora's box.
It is very unfortunate.
Anyway, that is what defines Jogona. Yes, do and do what the Jubilee government has failed to do.
And
go
you
and
see,
do it.
We are talking of tarmacking at 10-kilometer road, and you raise funds. Have you ever heard that, Linda, anywhere? Really? Yeah? Have you, in this Kenya,
I wish we would have raised
they were
that.
only raising funds to support
Honorable Asante Sana, Honorable Kariri Njama. Thank you so much. So much feedback from you. Thank you so much also for being part and parcel of this conversation. Some of the issues that you've raised, I'll purpose to make sure that Mheshimiwa or Mheshimiwa are able to see this in their own respective space, that be able to address on behalf of the common mwananchi. Geoffrey Mwaura says, Linda, make sure that Honorable Kariri Njama gives you a chondo. So I hope I would get that. And I think that is the last topic or comment I'll read from the, yes, it better be coming my way. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Once again, we hope to engage you some more.
For having us.
It was a pleasure. We close it at that. We get to matters business with KCK after this short break.